I remembered I would wake up in the middle of the night because it was so painful. And then I'll call my dad and told him, oh my god, I can't live like this anymore. I want to give up. I want to go back to Taiwan. I want to just all this shit. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Hello everyone, it's Karen here. Welcome to my channel. I'm on a journey to get my health back, both mentally and physically. If you have seen my last video, which is my 10k step challenge for 2 weeks, you might know that I had arthritis growing up, and the joint pain flared up during my last challenge, so I figure why not just dedicate a video about it. I have always had this weird joint pain growing up since I was a kid, like once or twice every month. It's mostly in my ankle. The weird thing about this kind of joint pain is that it will move itself. For example, it started as a right ankle joint pain, and 2 hours later, my right knee started to feel pain as well. And it can go up to my hips sometimes. The strangest thing is that, let's say 5 hours later, my right legs are totally fine now. Then my left leg will started to feel kind of weird, and then left ankle pain, left knee pain, left hip pain. It's that weird. And it's not only in my lower body, sometimes it goes to my wrist, my elbow, and my shoulders as well. And the worst thing is that there's no way to stop the pain until it stops itself. Stop itself. It's a weird word to say. The pain can be relieved by applying pressure or heat on the painful area, but as soon as I take the pressure or heat away, the pain will come back. I had no idea why I have this kind of pain. I would cry so much when I was a kid, and my mom will help me to massage my painful area, but just like I said, as soon as she stopped massaging me, the pain come back. She always told me it's growing pain, and I believed her. So for the longest time, I thought I will grow so tall, but I turned out to be a 5'2" hobbit. The funny thing is my mom took me to a doctor when I was in high school because finally she figured I haven't grown for years. Probably it's really not growing pain. However, the doctor said it's possible it's still growing pain because you are not 18 yet. I was like, okay. And both of us were believe in the professional advice. So we believe the doctor and we think, yeah, maybe I will still grow. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Anyway, over the years I got so used to this kind of pain and I just grew indifferent to it. I just ignore the fact I have this kind of pain every month. I kind of just accept it as part of me. And it was until last year things got really bad. My joint pain flares up more and more often. It started with once every month and it gradually became once or twice every week. I remembered I would wake up in the middle of the night because it was so painful. And then I'll call my dad and told him, oh my god, I can't live like this anymore. I want to give up. I want to go back to Taiwan. I want to just all this shit. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Around October 2019, I stumbled across a YouTube video, which is Mikhaila Peterson on Joe Rogan's podcast. She was talking about she had this severe arthritis growing up. And I remembered listened to it and was like, wow, what she described really sounded like what I have. But her arthritis is way worse, of course. She said she had her arthritis under control by going carnivore because she's basically allergic to everything other than beef. I'll link the video in the description. For those of you who don't know what carnivore diet is, it is basically an all-animal product diet. No plant-based food at all. Some people who do strict carnivore diet even cut off all dairy products. Because my joint pain has become so unbearable, so out of desperation, I went on a dairy-free carnivore diet from mid-November 2019 to the end of December 2019. Just a heads up, it did not reduce the pain at all. By the end of 2019, I went back to Taiwan to visit friends and family, and I also did a full body checkup. And for the first time in life, I finally did a full body checkup. And I found out that my RF number is really high. That's how I found out I kind of have arthritis. The reason why I said it's because RF number is really tricky. People who doesn't have arthritis can have high RF number as well. But since I have consistent joint pain and
high RF number, there's a very high possibility I have arthritis.
I also did a food allergic test at the same time. I'm basically allergic to lots of food, including beef and lamb. So that's why carnivore didn't work for me. I am allergic to red meat. And it could be those food that triggered my arthritis, my joint pain. Here's a list of food I'm allergic to. There are 6 levels of food that can give me chronic food allergy. Level 1 being the most mild allergy, and level 6 is the most serious category. The thing is, even if this food is listed on here, it doesn't mean I'm allergic to it for real. It just means I have a higher possibility to be allergic to this kind of food. Therefore, in order to reduce my joint pain and find out which food I'm really allergic to, I was suggested to do an elimination diet based on the levels of these food. For example, I cut off beef for 3 months because it is a level 4 food, and reintroduced it back on April 2020 by following the once every 4-day guideline. But actually I just don't take beef as my main meat source anymore, so I probably only eat beef once every 2 weeks, and I eat it in moderation. However, if my joint pain came back after I reintroduced it, then I can be sure I'm allergic to it. Ever since I found out I have these allergies, I just cut off all the food on the list right away. And it's like a miracle. My joint pain disappeared in a month. But I started to have all these cravings after a month, especially cheese. And as a result, I introduced them back and hoping there's one type of cheese I'm okay with. The next thing I know, whenever I have cheddar, I will have very, very bad joint pain. Eventually, I know I do okay with Parmesan, even if I have it in a larger amount. But because it became the only cheese that I can eat safely, I started to binge on it. And it's not good, because it messed up my digestive system. Other thing is potato. I introduced back whole food potato around April 2020. And I do fine with moderate amount. To be clear, I would still get joint pain if I eat a whole plate of baked potato. But if I eat it in moderation, then I'm fine. However, I cannot do chips at all. If you have seen my last video, my 10K step challenge video, you probably already know that I had some potato chips, and 5 chips in, my joint started to feel pain and stiff, all that. So I'm not good with potato chips. It was a bad time. Elimination diet was just not fun. But eventually, other than potato chips, I can eat almost everything with moderation. If I can have just 2 bites of cheddar cheese or have a cup of baked potato, my joint will be totally fine. But here's the problem. At that time, telling a person with binge eating disorder to eat their comfort food in moderation somehow just sounded not right for me. Basically, I couldn't control myself to not eat more without feeling deprived. So I have to cut off cheese and chips completely because I have no self-control when it comes to cheese, and I just cannot tolerate any chips. And starting from June 2020, I started to eat more homemade Asian food, which are actually the food I used to eat growing up and helped me to get my arthritis under control. And it's not only that, it also helped me to manage my binge eating disorder. I'll make another video to talk about it. Now I think of how my joint pain became so bad last year. It must have something to do with me stress eat too much and just take cheese as my comfort food. The frequency of me getting my joint pain has reduced from on the peak, which was 2 to 3 times per week while I was still working, to right now once or twice per month, which is actually considered as normal to me. The cause of the 2 most recent joint pain all has to do with me eating. One is eating too much baked potato, homemade potato, and the second one being eating the chips, potato chips, the 5 chips incident. So because of that, I added one more rule into my current diet rule. That rule is no potato chips at all. And here are my diet rules. First one being eating homemade Asian food as my primary meal. And second is no cheese except for the occasional eating out. Third, no potato chips at all. The new rule. Number 4, as for all the other food I'm allergic to, eat in moderation. 5th, other than the above rules, no restrictions at all. These diet rules help me to manage my joint pain and control my binge eating disorders. My current goal is to minimize these joint pain incidents to once every other month by following these 5 rules. However, it would be great if I can live a life without joint pain at all. But I know it's gonna be a little bit difficult because it's gonna take a lot of try and errors on tweaking my diets, on finding what's the exact food I can eat, or I can just eat in moderation, or all that. I know it's a long way to go, but anyway, that's my long-term goal. For anyone out there who has similar issues as I have, I really encourage you to take a food allergic test, because there's no harm to know more about your own body, right? Especially if you have this kind of out of nowhere pain like me. A lot of time we think our body is broken and we have already accepted fate. But the truth is we don't have to take it as what it is. Maybe we can't cure this weird pain, but at least we can manage it. We can find a way to control it. Lastly, I totally know the hopeless feeling people can get when we have this kind of unknown pain. If I didn't randomly see that episode of Joe Rogan's podcast, I would not have known it could be diet related. If someone is having this weird joint pain and has no idea what it is, maybe he or she see this video and can feel like, oh, maybe there's a cure. I don't have to just accept it. So I really wish this video can be helpful for someone. Other than this weird joint pain, my experience with eating disorder is also something I would really like to share on this channel in the future. If you want to know more about how I control my binge eating disorders, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy and stay positive. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!